Are you ready to turn up your impact and be the powerful person you dream of being? Then drive up to Career Conference 2025, coming over 3 weekends in March to 12 cities across the country. That's double the amount of cities as last year, so everyone can have the opportunity to revel in the recognition, connections, education, and motivation that could help you live up to your potential.
I'm falling into you.
Feeling like a goal-getter? You can take advantage of special Career Conference challenges and recognition, like the Step Up to DIQ Challenge and the Pearls of Sharing Challenge. We'll light up the Career Conference stage with recognition and one of these amazing rewards for the top 10 superstars at each conference. Get ready to expand your mind, design your dreams, and strengthen your Mary Kay connections at an event of pink proportions. Show up for yourself so you can fire up your dreams. Mary Kay is going up, and you can join us when you power up at Career Conference 2025.
Woo. All right.
Oh, that's so fun.
I know. So exciting. Who's registered? Give me a, okay, I'm seeing Sherry and Heather and Sandy and Patsy. I'm assuming I'm seeing Carrie there, but I only saw one hand. Okay. Wow, you just don't want to miss it. I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to see you guys there because we're going to Santa Clara. I know Diane's going to be there. Is that where you're going, Patsy? Santa Clara? Woohoo! All right. Okay, Heather says Santa Clara, so I'm excited to see you guys. So let's talk about a little bit of recognition. And the first thing, you know what? Who counted up their points and sent them to their director this week? Okay, well, who counted up your points, drop them in the chat. Because Heather was like, yes, I didn't send it to my director. Put them in the chat. Let's see who's got points. So our points are for things like being on a meeting and showing your face. There's a whole bunch
Turn
of
on
things.
your camera.
Yep, put your camera on. Being on a meeting, showing your face. Have you booked an appointment? Have you held an appointment? There's points for every face that you see. So show me what you got here. Oh, wait, I've got messages that I can't see. If I scroll down. Okay, Janine says she's in the car. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just super excited. Heather's, main thing, all of that activity. By the way, Diane and I were talking, and it's interesting because sales are not part of that activity. Those are the activities that are going to bring you your sales and so seeing new faces, booking appointments, those are things that are going to get you your sales. But we do care about sales, just saying. So drop in the chat what your sales were for the week. Do we have come on. Heather says 330. Okay, that's awesome.
Congrats, Heather.
Yep. 300 a week is like what Mary Kay said made a solid business. So 300 a week is fantastic, a little over 300. I know you've had other weeks that we're like, wow, weeks, but Carrie's got 450. She's pretty solid about that amount every week. So we're proud of you. Sherry says she has points, but she has no idea how many. Okay, awesome. But she has sales of 70, 4 bookings. She's been on camera, 2 news. Okay, awesome. And Donna has 360 in sales. So we're super proud. Woo! Let's see. So yeah, we have 3 people who have hit what we would call the princess court of sales. And once again, Carrie's our queen. So how about new faces? Because that's another one that gets you points. Anybody have new faces this week? Oh, Sandy, for goodness sake, you were holding out on us. 3,190. That's fantastic. And 2 faces. Okay, Heather has 3 new faces. All right. And again, over and over, we see the people with the new faces are the people who are bringing in the sales. How about bookings? What do you have? Because faces that you saw, I mean, that's potential future sales, but bookings are the lifeblood that keep us going. Who's got some new bookings to show us? Heather's got 3 new bookings. Okay. Katie has 6. Wow, fantastic. Okay, I'm super proud of all of you guys. And let me talk to Katie with 6 bookings. Where are you getting those bookings, girl? And I'm going to put you on, actually, we'll highlight you guys. Katie, where'd you go? I want to see your face like on the big screen. There we are. Add spotlight. Okay, girl, tell me, where are you getting those bookings?
I have been reaching out like crazy. Diane's gonna be here in Elk Grove where I live, and so um, I got really bold from last week's and actually showed up at somebody's work because it was right by my daughter's school, and I thought, you know what? She didn't respond to like a text with all the emojis or the or doing the voice thing.
All the things.
The
Oh, we muted you accidentally, sweetheart. Can you unmute?
All
There
right,
we go.
there we go. So I thought I'll just drop by her work and tell her how gorgeous and beautiful she is, and I need her to be my model. And so got her. So just reaching out that way and doing follow-ups for people that show that they were interested when they found out I was doing
Wow,
Mary Kay.
that's fantastic. Congratulations. Super proud of you. Can't wait to see. There goes my
Thank
earbud.
you.
Can't wait to see what comes from those 6 new bookings. Fantastic. I see Sherry has a message on her in the chat that says she has a new beauty consultant. Oh wait, how did I remove myself? I did not mean to leave you stranded on the screen there, Katie. Sherry, tell us about new team member.
Sherry's a brand new senior consultant.
Congratulations. I lost her on the screen though. She messaged and then she disappeared. Oh, there she
might
is.
have
I
dropped.
see her now.
She's in a rural area of North Carolina, so she might have oh no, there she is. Never mind.
Yep, I see her. I see her.
My first party, I had 15 people that were going to come, and I wound up with 6, and one of them was a hair stylist that started coming, and I started talking to her, and it took a while. She's definitely a slow go. She gets a little bit more excited, but right now she's letting me put something at her station, and she's joined, and he's excited to promote me at this. So we're just doing what we can do.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. And we hope to meet her at some point.
She's been on several of the events, believe it or not. So
okay. So like the Janice event, she's been on with Janice?
She's been on several of them.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see.
So Sherry, I'm curious, how does it feel to be a brand new senior consultant?
I don't, you know what? You guys are the ones that are telling me what I'm doing. I'm just doing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, I know your goal is to be in red by the end of the month because you want to go to career conference, because we're going to career conference in North Carolina together. And so that'll be fun for you to be running around in red, even though you don't know what that means.
Yep. I'm super excited for you to go to career conference too. Career conference was my first company event. I had joined in February and went to career conference in March, and totally changed my way of thinking. So I
love the fact that you can Zoom call. I mean, I've been on 9 times so far in the past month, and I just go to all the meetings because I want to be inspired and grow as much as I possibly can, because that's the only thing that's going to empower me to get out there and be bold.
Yep. And this is where you're going to get it. So you're doing the right thing. I'm super proud of you.
Thanks.
And have I missed anything that we should recognize? We got faces, we got bookings, we got sales.
For virtually spot-free and shiny dishes. Switch to your...
Was Sandy Muller's dollar amount correct?
Sandy Muller, did you sell $3,000 this week? Or is that supposed to be $319?
Okay, you're muted, sweetheart.
It was supposed to be $319. I'm sorry.
Well,
I was
that's
gonna
still
say
a great
you're awful
number.
calm if you sold $31.90. It's like
I wished.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay.
The only other thing I was
So-
going to mention, Melanie, is who's got at least 600 in for their star. The quarter started December 16th. So think back, December 16th. Did you order anything at the end of December and anything in January? Add it up. If you have at least 600 in, wave your hands. We want to see who's got at least 600 in. So this month is really strategic, you guys, because the quarter ends March 15th. And that last 15 days will sneak up on you quick. Ask every director that's on here tonight, right? It's like when you're behind and you do catch up, you always say, I'm never doing that again.
Yep.
So you really want to set yourself up for some great sales this next week or two.
One last thing. Today, Applause magazine came in the mail, and don't forget that it has a catalog in it. So one extra catalog for you. And then also, PCP came out today in my neighborhood. So if you may have gotten yours in the last couple of days, or it may be coming in the next couple of days. But this one, getting yours in the mail, is always the reminder to now call your customers who you sent them to. So
Now, are you also doing announcements, Melanie?
well, yes.
So since you've got the lookbook, do you want to give them a quick update on the bronzer?
Yes, I will. And you may have received a text message or an email about that, because we have these beautiful bronzers. And unfortunately, these two, the medium glow and the deep glow that have the marbling, they've had to pause the sales on those because they've found that they are breaking easily. And some of them have arrived broken. And that would be heartbreaking for you and your customers to have purchased that and have it come broken. And also, we don't like that for our reputation. So those are being paused. You can still order the Golden Glow, which is the one with the beautiful faceted finish. And that one is still available. And that one is good for all skin tones. So just, I don't know, it was a little bit sad, but the company's looking out for us. They want us, want to maintain our reputation. So,
And it will come out though, Melanie, right? They are going to come. They're just not right this minute.
yeah, they want to see if they can fix the problem and then re-release them. So they'll come, but that is where we are at this point. Okay, and I've talked a lot, so let's do the announcements more or less quickly. So Janice, as usual, we have two fabulous events that our national sales director is doing for us. Tomorrow night, this is consultant training and products and product knowledge. She's got someone from the company. I don't know if I know Stephanie Higginbotham, but Stephanie is going to come on and talk to us about each different skincare set and what kind of customer, who is our customer for that. Remember, that's always translated into Spanish. The other thing that Janice has going on is Thursday night, we have a sharing event. Oh, yes, that's translated into Spanish. We have a sharing event with Leslie McKinney-Smith. I have not heard her story. She's a senior sales director. I'm sure she's fabulous. Otherwise, Janice would not have selected her to speak to us. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be on there. The other thing I just wanted to let you know is I'm doing Wednesday after Janice's event, because I needed a skincare event this week because I had a pop-up on Saturday and I wanted an event to invite people to. So Wednesday after Janice's event in my Zoom, and I can share this one real quick. I'm doing a Wednesday, I'm calling it Wednesday Wind Down, just so you can see this. So Wednesday Wind Down, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. Let's go screen after Janice's event. And anybody that you have sent skincare packets to that hasn't actually been on an event with Janice, because that happens. Sometimes they with best intentions, and then something comes up and they don't make it to Janice's event. Invite them to come on here, pop on with us. We're going to just do take off our makeup and wash our face, do a little treatment, and get ready for bed. So that's going to be Wednesday. I would love to have you guys pop on with me if just another opportunity for sales. So Sandy.
And Melanie, on that note, can we just also show them, sorry, what Janice is doing the following week, because the following week is skincare with Janice, but keep in mind, if you're going to mail samples, now is the time to mail out the samples so they have them for Wednesday the 26th.
Yep. Thank you.
So be thinking of who you could mail samples to, because that could be a huge virtual. You guys could have 8 or 10 guests on that night and sell $1,000, which is a great way to end your month. So if you want more money to be able to order product and get all your towel sets and all that stuff before it all sells out, this is the week to mail out your sample so that next Wednesday you guys could take advantage of that class.
Thank you. That's
Thank you for letting
awesome.
me do that.
Yep. And then just because I see this in the chat and we should recognize this, Sandy Moeller, who's she says her director, so she's an adoptee for us. Her director, Sandy Cook, is one of the Go Give selections for last November. So that's pretty exciting to be a monthly Go Give. That means she stands on the stage and she has the chance to be selected as the annual Go Give. So that's fantastic.
Very cool.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay. I think that is where we are on announcements. So I am throwing to Patsy. Patsy's going to talk to us and review last week's. So is it okay if I put you on Spotlight, or do you want to see the whole group?
Whatever you think.
Okay.
I'm in a hotel room, so it's not a real exciting background.
Well, let's see you. So go
okay,
ahead,
there you go.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. So yes, you can do your business wherever you go. I have been traveling for the last week in Washington, and now I'm in Oregon, and haven't missed a beat, been able to talk to my clients as I go. And so I want you to know that don't feel frozen if you're gone. You can talk to people no matter where you go. And with that said, do you remember last week we heard from Dawn Otten-Sweeney? And I'd like to hear some feedback from you about what you got or gleaned from that, because I'm thinking about Linda Tupin and our circle of influence of where we're going to work. So I'm working, my daughter lives in Washington State, so I'm trying to work up there. I'd like to work in the middle of Oregon. And I've been stretching out into Santa Rosa and that area. So that was one of the things Linda Tupin talked about in her training. And so thinking about what Linda Tupin taught us and then what we heard from Dawn Otten-Sweeney last week, I'd love to get some of your feedback from that. Do you remember, or would you like to share what you gleaned from that? And have you put any of that into action? Because nothing happens till somebody sells something, right? And so have you utilized any of the modalities that we have been sharing with you for the last week? Anybody? I can't see hands from here, so.
Okay. And if you can switch to gallery view on yours, but let me go ahead and take you off Spotlight too. So we can all see you, but yeah.
And my lovely background.
Okay, yeah. So there you are.
I will share one thing that I remember from Dawn Otten-Sweeney. She talked about her willingness and her attitude and how she would commit to paying for something, but then she just figure out a way to make it happen. Like she'd say, well, I'm going to pay for the mortgage. And then all of a sudden she's like, wait, what? Like I got to. So then she'd figure out how many parties does she have to pay, or does she have to book and hold to pay the mortgage? So she would commit to something financially and then just go do the work. She was very focused on just do the work.
Yeah.
I did the same thing last year, Diane. We needed a new floor in my office upstairs. So we got a quote. I bought the wood, and then I figured out how many things I had to sell to have it installed. So I had a real specific goal with that. So it does work when you work backwards from that point of view. She talked about passion, being a trailblazer, helping women feel better. Is that triggering anybody's memories?
I love that she said that, and she actually didn't even put a words to it until later. She said, I didn't understand. She said, I knew when I met Mary Kay people that I had met my tribe. And she said, I didn't really understand why. And she said, now I know the reason they were my tribe was because they're trailblazers. And I thought that was pretty cool. How many felt like you met your tribe? Yeah.
Definitely.
Love it. Love it.
Definitely. And so one of the other things that she talked about in her success was talk about your goals to people, talk about your dreams, because people love to be invested in that. And she did a power start every month. So those of you that are new, a power start is seeing 30 faces in a month. And that when you're brand new sounds overwhelming, but as you start to develop a customer base and you're reaching out to people, if you can do, I know Diane's talked about her magic number is seeing 8 faces a week. So if you do the math on that, you're more than 30. So because, you know, if you're like me, I have clients that buy everything all the time. And then I have those clients that'll buy one mascara every 6 months. And so you have to keep feeding the funnel, as it were. And so that's one of the things, if you're doing a power start and you have that one person that's your girl. I'm doing a party next weekend at the blood bank where I donated blood, and she's going to have all the girls stay after their shift. And I used the words that we heard was, you're my girl. And she's all excited about it. So she's invited everybody on the staff that's working that day to stay, and maybe some others to come in, even though they're not working, so that she can get some free product. And I use that verbiage, you're my girl. And she's totally stoked about that. So those are some of the things that Dawn talked about, and doing that power start. But I think more importantly, it's what's going on up here. Are you telling yourself you can't do it? Are you telling yourself you can't do it? Mary Kay said, if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. So you need to work on this and move forward, keep working forward. If something doesn't work, you change it, you do something else. And reach up to your director. If you're building a team, you're not responsible for everything in that. That's what we're here for, is to help you. And nothing happens till somebody sells something. So with that said, working all those things in full circle, we can build our fortune, right? And truly your fortune is in the follow-up. If you've seen people, all those 3 people, I saw people putting in here, 3 new bookings, 3 new this, 3 new that. Following up tight is so important. Your follow-up is critically important. And so working on that, and anything you need help with, that's what we're here for. If you need scripts, if you need lead generation, reach out. You know, there's tons of stuff online, but if you're stuck, don't be stuck. We've all been there. We're there too. As directors, we get stuck too. So we reach up as well. That's what our nationals are for. I reach up to Diane. Melanie is a brilliant source. Kelly is a genius. So you can always reach up. So with that said, I think we're going to go on to our next video for this week's training.
Patsy, do you mind if I ask you something? Can you share, like, you go into the blood bank. I don't know if your intention was, I'm going to book someone while I'm giving blood, but that's not typically a thought necessarily. So how did you go from donating blood to booking a party? Can you just share with us, like, did you talk to her?
I went
What did
in
you
with
say?
the intention of booking someone.
Okay, there you go.
I knew I had to go have a blood test. And I thought, and depending on who sees you, I donate blood pretty regularly. And I had something wonky come up in my last donation. So they wanted me to come and have it verified that I was okay. So I thought, okay, if I'm driving all the way to Santa Rosa, I'm going to make this double bonus. So I just started talking with a young woman that was donating taking the blood draw, and talking to her. And I just was having conversation as we've talked about, you know, how long have you worked here? Who works here? What days do you work? I was just gleaning information from her. She was cute as a button. And I figured out with her schedule, a Sunday after they close down is their best day to do that. So she's having a party on a Sunday when they close down the blood bank. So they close at 4 and they clean up by 4:30. So I'm going to get there at 4 and set up while they clean up, so that as soon as they all get off from work, we can roll right into the party. And I told her,
so what did you say to her? Like, if I'm her, I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass, but we all want to know your words. Like, what did you say to her?
I said, I would love to do a pampering session with you. Could I offer you a pampering session? She goes, well, what is that? And so let me grab I can put it in the chat. But what I had said to her was, she said yes, she would do it. And then she was going to look at her schedule and, kind of wean it around. And then she finally said, yeah, I'll do it. And then so I sent her a message that said, before you say yes, let me tell you all about it. And
Oh,
I
I love that.
sent this in a text. I got this from Leah Carta. You'll enjoy a 3-step hand treatment, a 2-step lip treatment, microdermabrasion, just like at the spa, or charcoal mask treatment, and an ultimate facial. And so, I mean, it's just straight what we do. And then we moved on from there. I said, it's all complimentary. I can easily accommodate 6 to 8 people. And since you're my girl, I have a gift for you for pulling this all together. And so now
Love
we're
that.
just working out the people. And then I sent the text that you had talked about pulling her. If you could text this to your coworkers for me, please. This is about getting their customized swag bags ready. Let me know how many people we will be there. I'll have a custom swag bag for you. If you could text this to your coworkers, a couple of quick questions so I can get ready for this. And then I asked her a quick couple of questions, and I put my phone number and my name at the bottom. So that's kind of where we're at now. I'm waiting to hear back from the people. But I went in with intention of booking somebody.
That a girl.
I had stuff with me to do that. So I think we have talked about for the last couple of weeks about working with intention. And I think you really have to have that. That's why I was talking about your mindset. I want to build in Santa Rosa. It's a pain to go up there, but that's okay. I can make money in anywhere.
And Donna and Sweeney last week said, I need to stay forward focused. So that was a very good example of being forward focused, Patsy. I'm really proud of you. That I don't know that I would have thought of that or done that. So I think that's amazing. Congratulations.
All right. So
It's
let's roll the next video and start with this week's program.
Okay, are you guys ready to hear Bridget Shaw? She is an amazing NSD. Got a great story here. So let me go in here and share the sound before I hit the button. Give me 1 second to put stereo on. Okay, get ready to take notes.
Hey, everybody. Hi. Oh, wow. I am so excited to be with you. My name is Bridget Shaw, National Sales Director. And when I got the call from Karen to be one of the speakers for Boss Babes 2025 and Blazing the Trail edition, of course I said yes, because this program has just been so valuable for so many people. And so, yes, again, Karen, thank you for putting out and producing this amazing program. So you guys, let me tell you, when I started my Mary Kay business, I was in my 20s. My husband and I were both finishing up degrees. I was finishing my accounting degree. He was in seminary. We were both working full-time jobs. We had a 1-year-old. And so we had to figure out how to make a lot of things work. I met National Sales Director Emeritus Kathy Halou while I was on vacation. And I was in the midst of trying to figure out life. I wanted more. I wanted more money. I wanted flexibility and friends, all the things that Mary Kay had to offer. I just didn't know anything about Mary Kay. And so when she approached me, it was almost like a fast no, but I'm so grateful that my husband was there and nudged me and said, you should try this business because it has become very much a family business. And so I will tell you that when I came home to start my business, I found that there was a little hiccup for me. And this was my blazing of the trail, you guys. My hiccup was that I worked from 3 until 11 because I went to school in the morning. And my husband worked midnight because he went to school in the morning so that someone would be there with Kayla after, I guess it was aftercare, daycare, something, I don't know. But anyway, and so our schedules were not traditional. And at that time, everything that was done for training and for recognition, all the things that were in place to build a business, those things happened while I was at work. And so we had to create a way for me to stay connected. And it really came down to sheer will and desire. I'm so grateful that my recruiter was able to paint a vision of what Mary Kay would do for my family. I'm so grateful that my adoptive sales director, Agnes Stewart at the time, taught me how to create an anchor and hold on. And what I mean by that is I created a desire and a goal board of what it was I wanted from my Mary Kay business. And I so wanted to be able to work full time and to bring home an executive income. And so the visualization of that anchor was that whenever things didn't feel like they were going the way I wanted them to go, I was anchored. And then the vision part of what Mary Kay had to offer, my recruiter, her lifestyle, her beliefs were aligned with mine. God first, family second, career third, just like Mary Kay, the business, opportunity, the model. And so all of those things created a very strong desire for me. So what I'm saying is, as you're blazing the trail for your business, you've got to figure out what it is that you really, really, really want. And that way you become unshakable, right? Because when you're building a business, you're going to have unexpected things that will come up. And that is when you need an anchor. And so for me, in blazing this trail of figuring out how to work my business and stay connected, even though I was unable to go to events, I had to find different ways. And so I had to find a way to stay plugged into my leader. So you can imagine there were a lot of phone calls, there were a lot of emails going out. And whenever I held an appointment, I would call her after the appointment, tell her the things that I love, tell her the things that I wanted to change. We do a little quick tweak and I'd go back out in the field again and work. And so really, I had to figure out how to stay connected, even though I wasn't going to the success meeting. I listened to a lot of CDs and tapes. Oh my gosh, I'm aging myself, but you guys know what I mean. I listened to a lot of training segments from people who were where I wanted to be. Anytime the company offers an opportunity for you to be in front of people who are really blazing the trail with their businesses, that is what I mean when I say plug in to your leader and those who are where you want to be. Next, I had to create a tight schedule because I was in school, so I had to study. I had time with my child. I was working full time. And so a tight schedule for me was if I was going to go to a success meeting, I had that time blocked out. And, if I was going to hold a class or a party, I had that time blocked out. And when there was Bible study, I had that time blocked out, right? So my schedule was tight. When I said I was going to do something, I was doing it. If I had a party that canceled, I would then do customer care calls or a sell-a-thon. I used to call it a sell-a-thon. So in that hour time that I would have been doing a party, I would instead do a sell-a-thon and do customer care calls or selling games with my customers. But if it was a time for me to work, I was going to work. If it was a time for me to play, I was going to play with no regrets because my schedule was always so tight. I always stayed organized. That's my next point. Stay organized. Let me tell you, one of my girlfriends would always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? And so I always had my trays. This sounds really small, but it was such a big deal for someone who had such a busy schedule. But I always had my trays ready to go. I always had my starter kit cleaned and ready to go. When I came home from one party, I took the time to set it up for the next party. And so when it was time to go, I didn't have to get it ready. I could just pick it up and leave. I kept my products organized. Now listen, I'm not telling you that you need to spend hours organizing product because as quick as I was organizing it, it was leaving my shelf as well. But I kept things organized. I kept things in place. If someone wanted to stop by, there was a visual that they could see all the products that I have. And it was a lot of times that I would upsell. So it was just a matter of me staying organized and ready at all times. And then I was very disciplined. I kind of touched on that already. Sometimes I worked 2 hours a week, and then I was eventually able to move it up to 4 hours a week. And eventually I got up to probably as much as 15 hours a week, working my business very, very part-time. And so when I say you have to be disciplined with your time, that's what I mean, you guys. Blazing the trail in a business when you've never seen another person in your family be an entrepreneur, when you're not really able to be in the same city as your recruiter. Discipline with your time is crucial because we can get inside of our heads and we can start to be resentful of the time that we're spending building our businesses. Or when we're having playtime or free time with our family, we're worried about what we should be doing in our businesses. And that's not how it works. And so the discipline for me was really strict. I say strict, but not, it was in a weekly plan sheet. It was always listed. My family knew what I was going to be doing, when I was going to be doing it. And that way, we could organize our life around, my schedule of school, work, building a Mary Kay business. It was all in one place so that we could organize and be disciplined with it. And it passed on to my children. They were able to create that same kind of discipline and tight schedule for their lives in school and sports and things like that. And then that just trickles right on down to what I was going to share next. Include your family in everything. Everything. My kids were able to help me put labels on the back of my products. They were able to help me bag the products. They knew that, we were working towards a fabulous trip for the family, or we were working on a new electronic gig device for the family. So they always felt like they were connected. But in that process of helping the family to build our Mary Kay business, they got a lot of skill sets that they're able to use today. So when I think about blazing a trail for you as a beauty consultant, it is really going to be whatever you have to do that is different, that looks different from the way it's being laid out. Right now, it might be the fun of being able to work your business and do it in person, and at the same time have someone else that's watching and they're virtual. I love working that way. I used to take a facial with me to a party. Now I can do a party in someone's home and then set it up where I have someone else that is watching virtually and building. Just being able to create different ways. And as you do that in selling the product, people who are watching you are also going to start to think, wow, this is going to be something that I can create and put into my life, and I can work this differently for me. So not only are you going to be selling product and building customers, but by blazing this trail of doing things differently, the way that it fits your family, you're also going to be able to teach another woman how to build a business for her family. Okay? So I'm just telling you, be a boss babe, be a bad chick, blaze a trail, and do it the way you need to do it to have an incredible Mary Kay journey.
Wow, wow, wow. Let me turn my video back on so it'll stream better. Oh my gosh, you guys. That is actually my third time hearing her, and I even took more notes. Okay, I would love to hear any takeaways. Because you always end up hearing what you need to hear, right? So what did you hear? Anybody want to share? Go ahead and unmute yourself and just go ahead and tell us what you got. Go ahead, Heather.
Being disciplined with her time. She talked about starting with just 2 hours. That's all she had, and went up to 15. And there's really no excuse, especially for discipline with our time. And we really do business when our appointments fall through. We continue with her. She said, she made the calls, and she had a sell-a-thon. I thought that was so funny to make up her time during that. I'm like, sell-a-thon, that's brilliant. So I like it.
And keep in mind, she's not only was a full-time accounting, but she was the first lady of a church. Her husband's a pastor. And so you've got all the responsibilities of being a first lady at the church, which is a lot. And then her Mary Kay and so yeah, 2 hours but 2 hours in a week, it could be 4 blocks of 30 minutes. So thank you for that, Heather. Who else wants to share? What did you hear?
I was going to say what Heather said about the disciplining, organizing. That's something I'm learning right now, is to be organized, to really have your stuff together. I think that's very helpful to definitely be organized. I like the part where she said including your family, even if it's just something simple like providing labels or whatever it is that you need done, maybe cleaning mirrors or trays for the next event. Those are all very important things. And I'm glad to, have been able to see that tonight.
And the fun thing about getting your family involved, Shannon, is that then your kids, especially if they're kids, they will drive you insane because they're going, Mom, do we have enough money to go to Disneyland? And you're like, no, we set the goal yesterday. The next day they'll go, Mom, do we have enough money? You're like, sorry, I shared my goal with you. Because they're relentless. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? But it's great because it helps you stay focused.
Yep.
Or if you don't dedicate a certain percentage, like if you say 25% of my sales are going into the Disneyland fund, you won't even get in the door with your stuff and they're going, Mom, how much did you sell? And they're already standing there and they're going to figure out, even if they don't understand 25%, if they're little, they're going to figure out how much money goes in the Disneyland account. Trust me.
Kids are smart nowadays.
Yep. Thank you for that, Shannon. Okay, anybody else? What do you want to share? Who got something they want to share?
I'll say something. The main thing that one of the main things is the idea about having an anchor and going back in your mind to your anchor when you get distracted. And that's really the list of your goals and your next steps. But that's kind of it's important to me because so often when you have family around, you get distracted easily and you forget. And so to go back to your anchor and have it right in front of you, to me, that's a key point to remember to have. And just because it inspires your mind, that's what you want, rather than all the things going on around you. More so.
That's great, Sandy. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
I liked that how critical it is to have a tight schedule, because that's so important. And what Heather said about doing the sell-a-thon. If your party falls through or your appointment cancels, you're still working. That's your work time. If you've done your weekly plan sheet, you've scheduled that time. So don't give it up and say, oh, well, I'll go watch a movie. Go do something for your business. And don't make that just cleaning your desk.
So well said, Patsy. Okay, anybody else? What was your takeaway?
Hi, I liked it when she said just three simple words. She said, stay forward focused. I mean, that's so simple, but I like it on the fly. She had something canceled, so she substituted it with something else, another activity, so that her time management was on point. I mean, talk about organized, and the thought that she had to have, placed herself in. She had to have thought this business out enough to strategize something to put in place. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you for that, Becky. I appreciate it. Nice. All right. Anybody else? Go for it, Heather.
She said to stay plugged in. And actually, I think Katie said that earlier tonight in our meeting. And I thought that was so important because every day there's somewhere to plug into something, or a director to talk to, or, YouTube to go to, or $1 million message. So staying plugged in will keep us motivated to move forward.
I have to tell you guys, I said to Melanie this afternoon when she and I were talking, is that there is not a day goes by that when I'm working out, I'm not listening to a Mary Kay seminar speech, career conference speech, $1 million director, or John Maxwell, or Tony Robbins. And I honestly, for the consultants who choose not to plug in on Tuesday night meetings or choose not to plug into Janice's virtual events, I honestly don't know how you all stay focused and stay excited and motivated, because all I can tell you is you all have motivated me tonight to just keep wanting to do more. And that's the goal. They always say, if you had a great week, you need the meeting. And if you had a poopy week, or excuse me, if you've had a poopy week, you need the meeting. If you've had a phenomenal week, the meeting needs you. So the bottom line is get plugged in. Unless you've got a cesarean scheduled for career conference weekend, figure it out. Go. Everybody should be going to career conference, especially those of us in California. You don't have to go on some $400 or $500 plane flight to get there. So go and literally get plugged in, because you will have a different experience. Okay, what else did you guys hear?
I'll say something real quick. So that focus, organized, discipline, and including family. And there's been so much, this is like week 6, and all of it, we talk about bookings and scheduling and stuff. And it's like that very first one is with ourself, like last week they talked about, having that time to schedule to read your Bible. And there's always something to do, like on MK Connect and MK in Touch and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm lucky to have a director like you, Diane, that, sends awesome things to listen to. And I just look at the beginning of when I joined Mary Kay in November to now, I'll make this really fast, but like my grandma used to sleep like all made up in her nightgown because she's like, if there's a house fire and I have to run out, I need to look okay. And it's like, what would, I used to say the mind's a dangerous neighborhood, like don't go in there alone. And so we always are afraid of what people might see on us on the outside when we're not prepared. But I feel like this is like shifting so much of us on the inside because if like we talked about ourselves the way we think about ourselves sometimes, would you want to buy something from us? Would you want to, go to that person? And I know I wouldn't if, so it's really changing my thought process,
Good
really
point.
up, and having just the inside match the outside. And so that whatever is going on in your head, you're the kind of person where if people could see your thoughts, you're like, yeah, I want to think like that girl. I want to, not just have that, just that whole energy and everything about her and, be someone that you want to buy from.
Yep. Well said, Katie. Thank you for that, sweetie.
That makes
Donna,
sense.
did you have something you want to share?
Yeah, for me, my takeaway is
Where'd you go?
it's the dog.
Did your laptop fall off your desk?
Dog knocked the whole thing over.
That a girl?
Anyway, the takeaway, what is her schedule was not traditional because we have, it's not like a 9 to 5. She had to make it work around the schedule that she had with her school, her husband's school, and taking care of the kids. So that to me, there's like, for me, there should be no excuse. You should be able to, whomever you are, to work your business, you can work it around your schedule because she didn't have that traditional 9 to 5. So I don't want to hear any excuses from my team member.
All righty there.
And you know what? And that I love that because that's why she considered herself a trailblazer because her life, that was one of the she did things the Mary Kay way, but that didn't fit into her life. I mean, and that's like one of the first things is go to meetings, and she couldn't, so she didn't let that stop her. And I would just say I went through a period in my life where I was bouncing back and forth between 2 different locations because of family illness, and actually went through a long period of my life. But anyway, and so I started, trying to, that's when I started doing Zoom parties and Facebook parties back before COVID, because I had to, because I didn't know where I was going to be. It was very difficult to book, but I still brought the Mary Kay way into that. But I had to blaze my own little trail on that. So, and that's what I liked. She figured out how to get the motivation and do the things without being able to attend the weekly success meetings. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, and I love that she talked about the weekly plan sheet because that works no matter what your schedule is. Because when I started this, I had several jobs. I had a house full of kids and I was taking care of my mom in Daly City. So I do know that if you write it down and put it on that weekly plan sheet, you can see those little nuggets of time. Oh, here's 30 minutes. I can do something. Doesn't have to be 2 hours all at once. And that's part of the being organized. It's, I have very organized chaos at my house.
Well, Patsy, it's funny you should mention that because I was going to pull up 2.5 years ago. I sat down with a consultant who works a full-time job, has a crazy commute and 3 little kids. And she's like, Diane, I want to do Mary Kay more than you know. She says, because I want to leave my job. But I've got demand. The second I walk in the door, my kids are all over me and I want to be with them. And I've got this crazy commute. So we literally, and I cannot find it on my new computer. It's on my old computer, but I will have it ready for next week because we color coded it. When does she go? Because she says the gym is important. I've got to go to the gym 3 days a week. And so we've had, okay, you've got to go to the gym. You've got a 45-hour work week, and then you've got an hour commute. So we literally sat down and figured out how in the world is she going to fit Mary Kay in. And so I'll share that weekly plan sheet with you guys next week. Or if you want it sooner, I can find it in my old computer and I'll text it to all the directors and they can text it out to you. It worked for her, but again, she's got a 40-hour work week. So you can adjust that to your own. Anyone else want to share? Patsy, thank you for that very much. Anybody else? Anybody, especially who hasn't shared? Debbie, Wanika, Melissa, Janine, Carrie, anybody else want to share?
Oh, I'll share.
Okay.
I noticed that she talked about that unshakable commitment with her crazy schedule that, is that you do have to be committed no matter what, because everything's not going to go perfect. So I have to incorporate that when things do change, still be unshakable that, okay, I'm still moving forward, still have a goal. And like you said, whatever that is, whether it's 15 minutes, whatever it is, that I could still commit to working the business.
Absolutely. And I think pre-planning, like you said, Debbie, is really key. Because if you say to yourself, today I'm going to leave, I'm going to reach out to these 5 women to book a facial, and maybe you don't have a block of time that you thought you were going to have. You have 5-minute slots. And so you literally say, I'm not going home until I call these 5 women. You might sit in your car and do it or whatever, but getting those 5 calls made, yeah, it's being diligent with your time, just like anything else. If your boss at your job said, you can't go home until you get this done,
Diane, when I first started working with Jillian Ortega many years ago, I had all those jobs, et cetera. And I said, Jillian, how am I going to do this? Help me figure this out. And she said, find a 15-minute window. And cell phones weren't a thing yet. So now we've got cell phones that hook into our cars. You can get phone calls done in your car. There's no excuse that we can't be touching base with people, but it is that being organized, have your 6 most important things with the lists of who you're going to call, who needs to hear from you, whether it's just to check up from the neck up or to book somebody. And that's part of that being organized and strategic and being on point, because if you have like a 30-minute commute, you can get 3 or 4 phone calls in that 30-minute commute. So it is, taking advantage of the 15 minutes. And you can all find 15 minutes. She said, if you can find 15 minutes in your day, every day, you will move forward in your business. And I thought, okay, I can find 15 minutes. I can commit to 15 minutes. And then it got, like she was talking about, it got to be 30 minutes. And then it grew exponentially as my skill increased. And so you will find that as well. But 15 minutes, anybody can do that, she told me.
I'm glad you shared that, Patsy. Thank you. Anyone else before we wrap things up? Anybody else want to share a takeaway? Sherry, you must be in a coma because it's 10 whatever there, 10:30.
Thank you, Patsy. I actually, as we were communicating, I texted a gal that I met at Food Line, and I've been even long before I was doing sourdough breads, and I had given her a starter and brought her a pan because she didn't have a pan. And I approached her this evening and actually asked her if she'd like to be pampered. But with what you said, the 3-step hand treatment, the 2-step lip treatment, it's so cool. So we'll see.
And what'd she say?
She hasn't said anything yet, but because it's
now we're on pins and needles. You have to let us know.
I know. I'll let you know. But I did. I sent her a thing and just said, hey, I just became a Mary Kay consultant, and I would love to have you join me in my training. And then as I was developing my whole spiel, I did the lip treatment, and then I'm like, oh, now I can enter ways of drawing. So I'm going to offer a free massage every month, and then I'm going to add that to my repertoire.
Well, Sherry's a massage therapist, so she's going to give away a massage with her one a month. So every customer that spends so much gets in the drawing, and every new face. I think that's brilliant. So, and you guys, there's nothing wrong with sharing a goal. And what I will tell you is if you use these exact words, write this down. Can I borrow your face? They always go, what? And I go, like if I was a hairstylist, I need to borrow your hair, but I'm teaching skincare. I literally say that. I never say I'm selling Mary Kay. No, I'm teaching skincare. So Donna, can I borrow your face for practice? No woman in their right mind that's a girlfriend of yours is going to say, no, you can't practice on me. They're all going to say yes. And then once you get them to say yes and you pre-profile, and then you say, Donna, since I'm doing you, my goal is 15 faces in 15 days. How would you like a couple half-price items or a half-price shopping spree by bringing me 3 of your girlfriends? There's no obligation to purchase. I just need practice on faces. And she's like, I've got friends that'll practice for a half off shopping spree. So they bring you people. So I just want to close with one last thing. When she talked about if a party postponed, and this actually happened to me back in the day when my kids were little, I had a tri-level house. The babysitter showed up. I was on my way out and the phone rang like an actual landline attached to a wall that was attached to a cord. So yes, I'm old. And I answered it and it was, no, I take that back. I went to the lady's house. She was in my town. The lights were on in the house. Nobody came to the door. So then I was a little miffed. So because I've got a babysitter at home, I'm paying, right? So I knock on the door a couple more times. She wasn't going to come to the door. So obviously it was going to be a zero party. So I thought, well, now what am I going to do? I've got a babysitter at home. I can't go home. But I didn't have a cell phone, so I drove back home. Fortunately, my office was on the very bottom floor and the rest of the house was on the second floor. I got in the house. The kids did not hear me. I went straight down into my office, shut the door. My kids thought I was still at a party, and I stayed on the phone until I sold at least $200 to compensate for the party that just didn't hold. Now, I remember back in the day not knowing what to say, so I'm going to share something with you because what I wanted to say was, "Hey, Shannon, it's Diane with Mary Kay. Do you want to buy anything?" Like that was what wanted to come out of my mouth, but obviously, that's not very effective. So this is what I used to say, and I still say. I say, "Hey, Shannon, it's Diane with Mary Kay. How are you?" And you say, "Oh, I'm doing great." And I say, "I'm going to be in your neighborhood on Friday. Is there anything you want me to bring that will keep you looking beautiful?" And that's exactly what I would say. "Is there anything you want me to bring? I'm going to be in your neighborhood on Friday. Is there anything you'd like me to bring you to keep you looking beautiful?" And she'd go, "I'm so glad you called. I ran out of my CC cream like everybody always says, "I'm so glad you called. I just cut open my cleanser with a knife." Or, I mean, the stories you hear. So I would say, "I was just thinking about you. I'm going to be in your neighborhood this Friday. Is there anything you'd like me to bring to keep you looking beautiful?" Which was my much more eloquently way of saying, "Do you want to buy something?" Because I have a goal. All right. So you guys, here is your challenge tonight. This has got to be done before 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Are you ready for this? And you're going to get a really cool prize from your director. You have to go find your starter kit. Now, I know like Melissa Moreland, she goes, "Well, that's a joke, Dinah. It just came 3 days ago." So Melissa, you have an easy challenge. The rest of you, go find your kit. Hopefully you know where it is. Take a picture of it before, like pull it out, take a picture of it, okay? Then Shannon's going to pull hers up right now, not a girl. Then I want you to dump it upside down and I want you to organize it. The lookbooks that are in there may not even be from this year or last year, who knows? But I want you to organize it. And so that your trays and your mirrors, Carrie, you'll be amazed what I've seen. So I know you're like, "Are you kidding me?" But so anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to organize your starter kit as if your neighbor texts you tonight and says, "Hey, Becky, you know what? I know you're in Mary Kay and I've been thinking about this. I'm off tomorrow. Can I have a facial in the morning?" And you go, "Sure." And then you hang up and you're like, "Where's my kit? Where's my washcloth?" Like you had this little mini panic of like, "Where's all my stuff?" Right? If your stuff's already together, then take a picture and send it to your director and you'll already be done.
Not dumping my starter kit. Sorry, guys.
No, but I'm just saying, just get it all organized so that you know where things are and what's going on. Does that make sense? And so for some of you, that'll be a chore, and for others of you, it'll be a complete piece of cake. But I want you to be kind of prepared. And lastly, I am going to Elk Grove on Thursday. I'm also going back to Elk Grove Monday. If you know anybody, Stockton, any of the areas in Sacramento, Davis, whatever, if you can send them, even if you can't come, let me know you're sending them, but they're welcome to come. If it's a consultant and she wants to watch, that's fine. If you even want to go with me in my pink caddy and drive up and watch and I'll bring you back home, that's fine. But we're going to be doing that both Thursday and Monday. Okay? All right, you guys, go find your starter kit, send a picture to your director, and then please add up your points. Take these points. You guys get points for new faces, whether they're in your area, more points if they're out of the area. If you added a new team member, if you did your launch, which Melissa, you'll get points for that next week. Every personal interview you hold, every new team member, there's a lot of ways to get points. Please send those into your director, okay? Good night, everybody. Thanks for being on.